In many countries around the world, it's typical to sweeten their cup of tea with sugar or maybe some honey, but in Iran we have these. In general, tea is a big part of Iranian culture, and many Iranians drink a few cups of tea during the day. On the side, usually we have normal sugar cubes and these traditional sweeteners called pulaki and nabot. So, let's take a look at the sweet world of these traditional candies made in the sweet side of our city Isfahan in the center of Iran. Let's take a look. So, this is Nabat, and this. Nabat is basically sugar with much bigger crystals. It takes a while to dissolve in tea, and it's the more common of the two candies. To see how Nabat is made, we visited one of the oldest workshops in Isfahan. This is the Afghari Nabat and Poolaki workshop right in the middle of the historical part of the city. When you enter the workshop, you are hit with the smell of sugar and saffron and lots of deliciousness all around. So, let's see how they make nabat, the crystallized candy. Everything starts in this huge pot where they mix 1 part sugar with less than half part water. In the case of this pot, there is 500 kilograms of sugar and about 200 liters of water. The mix is then boiled up to make the insane amount of sugar dissolve completely in the water and make the base syrup. But the problem here is that the sugar that we buy is usually not completely pure. There is some impurity in the sugar that makes the syrup muddy. And so, if you turn this muddy syrup into candy, it wouldn't be clear and the taste wouldn't be pure sweetness. That's why the syrup must be purified. To do that, they use a famous technique used around the world for getting rid of impurities: eggs. When you add eggs to the mix, when it cooks quickly in water, it traps a solid part of the liquid, that is the sugar mud in this case, and then it can be scooped out.
شکر رو تصفیه میکنیم حدود 8 تا 9 تا تخم مرغ من بهش میزنم تصفیه میشه حتی پیروز آمدن جلایی نارا که ورزد اصلا باور نمیکردن که شکر جل داره من براشون اسوارش تبدیل کردم نمونه برداشتن در رفتن بهداشت.
Here Master Afghari keeps adding eggs and scooping the mud until the mix becomes clear. Finally, he can fish out any solid residue that remains at the bottom of the pot. Now, the pure syrup is ready to be transferred into these pots. After the syrup is pumped into the pot, they put a wire with the shape of a spider web on top of the pot. On the wires, they tie some cotton strings that just float in the middle of the mix. The pots are then put into a warm cupboard for about 10 days. During this time, the temperature of the cupboards are reducing little by little. This way, the sugar starts crystallizing on the string and the walls of the pot. Then it's time to extract the nabat. First, they pump out the excess syrup from inside the pots. Then, they left the pots slowly release any of the syrup that is left, so it would be dry enough to break and put into packs. You can even see from this hole the beautiful sugar crystals that have formed. It looks like a cave, and the marvel is fully visible once they break it open. Magnificent. So the ceiling crystals that they are breaking are the purest and the most expensive type of nabat. After that, the large central crystals formed around the string are the more famous. These nabots are even a part of the wedding decoration in Iranian wedding, symbolizing sweetness and happiness in marriage. Finally, the wall crystals are extracted and sold separately. Another famous kind of nabot that is very convenient to use is the one with wooden stick to stir the tea with. These are made just the same. They just form around sticks instead of a string.
اینجا حدودی 65 سال 70 سال اسم اینجا هست تقریبا یه 200 سال است که ما شغل قنادی پدر بزرگمون بعد پدرمون بعد خود من الان خود من حدودی 65 سال است.
Now let's take a look at how pulaki is made. Pulaki is also made from base syrup and it comes in different tastes. It starts again in the huge pot where they make the syrup the same way as they did for nabot. But this syrup has a bit less sugar. After the purified syrup is ready, bit by bit they pour it through the sieve to make sure there is no unwanted particle and pour it in another smaller pot to boil. It takes about 45 minutes to cook up to 170 degrees all through. This way, a lot of the water boils away and the syrup cooks completely. Once the concentrated syrup is ready and hot enough, they pour it on this metal table to cool down. If there are any excess powdered pulaki from before, they put it on the hot candy and then fold, fold, fold. When it cools down, they cut the hot candy in small portions that go through this pattern ruler. This turns the candy into sheets of round candies. They are still a little hot, so after a while, just by a little bit of mixing, the circle of pulaki is separate and you have a mountain of candy ready for packing. As I said, pulaki is made in different tastes. The best taste of it is saffron. To make that, they warm up a lot of saffron that has been prepared in water, and near the end of the syrup boiling, they add it into the pot. Immediately, the room filled up with the smell of saffron when they did that. You can make out the strands of saffron in the end product too. There are other tastes like lime and coconut too. For that, they add the coconut or powdered lime into the syrup on the table and they fold it into the candy. The lime one has a very pleasant mix of sweet and sour. When we were waiting for the pulakis, Master Afghari made something that took me back to my childhood. Back when I was a child, there was no lollipop. Instead, we had khurus khandi, which means sweet rooster. It's just a candy made into the shape of a rooster by hand. So nostalgic. Day in and day out, this workshop is making Poolaki and Nabat, and every day people are coming and buying the sweets fresh. There were people waiting for 2 hours for the batch of saffron pulaki to get ready. That shows how integrated Poolaki and Nabat are in the daily lives of people, especially in Isfahan. Because Isfahan is the center of Poolaki, that's because making these products needs a dry environment like Isfahan's. Humidity makes the candy soft and you wouldn't be able to enjoy the crunchiness of it. By the way, all around Iran, in different cities, you can find different types of traditional sweets and candies that people have with their drink or separately. If you like to know about the awesome world of the traditional sweets of Iran, tell us in the comments. And if you like this video, then the like and subscribe button are waiting for you. Thank you for watching this video. and I'm gonna enjoy my tea now.